Good morning, everyone. Happy Dashera. So, today we are going to talk about ABFM. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar and I am with you with the area of ABFM. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? We will be talking about the topic of startup finance. When we talk about the startup finance, what do you mean by startup finance, everyone? Startup finances are basically those organizations, startups. Startups are what? Those mini organizations or small organizations which are working on the basis of the era of they've just started up. They've started working recently. So what happens in this area is when you work um, on a startup, that means you have an idea. From that idea, you work forward towards it. You build up your own organization. And once you build up your own organization, you're looking forward towards the growth of it, isn't it? Is when you So, when we're talking about this era, we'll be talking about an entire organization which is built up only for the purpose of growth, right? Okay, so just a moment, please. Setting it up. Okay, in terms of startup finance, when we talk about now, startup finances are those organizations which have been built up for the purpose of working in a manner which is stronger for the business altogether. So when we talk about startups, how do we define startups? In terms of startups, these are small organizations where the finances are defined in such a way that the organizations are working towards the area of growth. You start up with the small organizations and you're working for the growth of it. When you're trying to grow a particular organization, you will be looking forward towards the finances that you need, the resources that need to be built up, technologies that are required. All those things would be taken up now. So, what is one of the benefits that startups can receive under the startup plan? Tax incentive, educational grants, agriculture subsidies, or housing assistance. What's the answer? When we talk about startup finances receiving money, they receive money in what sense? When you start up your own business, you are generating employment for the for the country there. You are developing national income there. You're generating all these things. Huh? So in this case, when you're generating all these things, these are covered under the area of tax incentive. So when we start up a business na, those organizations gets tax incentives which are also called tax holidays. Matlab, if you open your business in a certain area na, then in that specific area they can say that for a certain period of time there will not be any taxation. For example, when we talk about it in the northern India, in Himachal Pradesh, uh, government wanted the area to be developed. That is, in the area of Badi, they opened up a specific industrial area, and in that specific industrial area, they have opened up the industrial area in such a way that there was a tax holiday for a period of around 10 years. 5 years, it was roughly no taxation on the profit at all. Think about the prosperity of that organizations which can open up their businesses there without any pressure ki acha we have to pay tax or not. So basically they really worked well over this area, right? So when we talk about this scenario that has happened, they talk about this in such a way that the tax incentives can be the one which is basically helpful for the organization in terms of paying no tax for a particular period of time, and then it says you'll be paying 50% tax for the next period. Okay? So this is how we define the particular area there. Chaliye. Then let's move on and talk about the next question. Next question is, oh, I'm sorry. Let's just, I hope it would be in a better position. How long is the exclusion period from the business inspection for startups under the startup plan? 1 to 2 years, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, or 10. When we talk about the exclusion period from business inspections for startup plans under startup plan, how long will it take? The period which is not included in the area of startups now. When you start up now, normally the organizations takes roughly 3 to 5 years to build up a particular idea, to develop the particular things, thinking about the commercialization, making a particular market for it. All these things takes time. No? So this is the points. Acha, next point is startups can receive 80% fee discount. Which type of registration under the startup plan? Copyright registration, patent, trademark, or business license. Startups can receive up to 80% fee discount, which is a major fee discount. Why is it given, everyone? Okay. Audible clearly now? Which is a major fee discount. Why is it given, everyone? Okay. Very audible? The reason behind giving this kind of fee discounts is basically patent registration. When you develop a really new product, which is very a good one, so ultimately you will need a particular point. Now, for example, let me give an example there. There was regarding fidget spinner. Heard about this a few years back, maybe 3 to 5 years back. Kids start playing with a particular thing which used to spin in your hand. So for all those people who were having OCDs or who were having anxiety problems, for them it turned out to be really good thing that you just hold it and just keep on spinning it. Now the point is the person who developed fidget spinner failed to get a patent there. If she would have got a patent, then every single organization which would have developed the prototype of the fidget spinner further and selling it in the commercial basis, they would have to pay her before making a fidget spinner, right? Another example is the one who created the three pointer. I think Ferrari made it. They had a particular 3 point. The specific seat belt that we're using is 3 pointer. One, two, and three. We have 3 points there. Earlier it was just introduced for two, which was not really safe. So when this 3 pointer was introduced, the person who introduced it purposely said that I do not want to patent the seat belts, because if I get it the patented, then for this would become a problem. And while this is required for the safety measures, so when it is required for the safety measures, then they didn't ask for that. But otherwise, if you are developing a very unique product and you can encash it in the market, why not getting it patented? So this is why they call it patent registration there. Patent registration means nobody else can use the formula. For example, Coke formula cannot be used by anybody else. Pepsi's formula cannot be used by anybody else. And even these formulas are secret. At the same time, the same formulas, if you even if you found out, you cannot use the same formula, right? So in this case, what would be the next point? What is the primary purpose of Atal Innovation Mission with self-employment and talent utilization program? Promoting tourism, then is supporting agriculture, encouraging innovation in startups, or enhancing public transportation. We're talking about Atal Innovation Mission with self-employment. When you're talking about self-employment, in the name itself, it gets generated. You know? So in this case, what would be the answer? The answer would be encouraging innovation and startups. What would be the next answer? What is the goal of business incubators in context with startup support? What is the specific goal, everyone? Okay. So in this case, it is for. Acha, what do you mean by incubators? Incubators are the places where we keep the kids, right? When we talk about pediatrics area, na, you'll find that newborn babies are kept in a specific area which has a warmth equal to the area of warm of a mother. So basically, they are giving an artificial comfort to the kid to grow. So in this case, they are providing low cost housing, accelerating the development of early stage business, offering legal services, or promoting traditional industries. Now think about the newborn babies who are trying to develop. Obviously, they in the womb they don't have a problem regarding breathing, eating, and all. Once you come out of the womb, then you need all these things, isn't it? Now, in the same case, when you have a startup, you have no prior experience of how the business works. What are the things that we need to take care of? So those startups really need to work well. They need support, they need services, they need financial services, advertising services, transportation, logistics, and they need experts, but that too at a lower cost. So that is why business incubators came up. The incubators are the shelter homes for the startups where they can grow, right? So you can say this is basically the orphanage which has been taking care of all the orphans. Now, when we talk about business incubators, incubator are the particular parent who's taking care of that particular startup, and the startup is called incubatee. That means incubatee. Okay, so one is incubator and one is incubatee. So in this case, it's accelerating of the development of early stage businesses. That means when you are developing a business, just like you are having a newborn baby, so that means in this case, in the early stages, it is required. In context of the startup support, what do business incubators typically offer to entrepreneur? Medical insurance, networking opportunities, farming equipment, or retail space? What would be the answer? Go ahead. When we talk about startup support, incubators typically offer what? They will actually provide you with the network opportunities. They will provide you banking facilities. They will provide you the people with whom you can work, logistics, transportations, which the company might be having a problem with in terms of initially trying to get the hold of it. Na? So it's not easy कि आप direct, you start your business and then you can get the particular links and everything right away. So incubators really helps you to get those tie-ups, because those tie-ups are also something you can say they are also a startup there, or they might be connected with this organization from quite a long time. That's why they can give them the experts who can guide them. And in the business, there are in every business you will find two kinds of work. One is core, the other one is non-core. When we talk about core and non-core businesses, it can be stated in such a way that if we talk about the core businesses, that is your own business, that is something that you should not be giving to someone else. But there are certain things which you cannot do on your own because you might not be having expertise in it. So when you are in the incubator, na, you can leave it on the incubator, right? The incubator will help you out, right? So then let's move on. How do startups under the startup plan benefit from Atal Pension Innovation Yojana? So when we talk about Atal Innovation Yojana, how does it help the startups? Access to free advertising, co-working space, government contracts or promotion, and support for their innovative endeavors. What would be the correct answer? Access to the free advertising. Basically, Atal Innovation Yojana totally talks about innovation. So it would be D. It promotes and supports their innovative ideas. Done? According to the initial definition, when does an entity cease to be considered as a startup, everyone? What would be the answer there? After 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or after reaching a turnover of 25 CR. According to this, after around 5 years of registration, after 5 years from the date of incorporation or registration, this particular portion is over. But remember, in terms of income tax, the provision says that for the first 5 years, they have a separate kind of tax incentives, and after that they have separate kind of incentives. I think the tax holiday will also vary from state to state as well. So basically something that in terms of the taxation overall point of view, it varies from organization to organization and slab rate to slab rate, and even person to person. And let's look at the next question. What is the turnover limit for an entity to be considered startup under the initial definition? Under the initial definition, is it 5 CR or 10 CR, 15 or 25? The startups under this can be stated as something which is related to the area of, it is 25 CR. Okay? The answer is 25 CR. Actually, now in the definitions, it keeps on changing. So I think as per the latest right now, it is 25 CR. The definitions has been changing every now and then. Even in the turnover, they have given criterias. In the working, they have given criteria. So this will vary over the period of time. Okay, here comes the next question. According to the expanded startup definition, which type of entities can be considered as startups? Private limited company or registered partnerships? Then private limited company and sole proprietorships. Then LLP and trust, or all type of entities regardless of their legal status. See, legal status plays an important role because of only one thing, that if you know the legal status, then the tax holidays would be different for all these organizations. It's never going to be the same. So it varies from organization to organization, and it also varies from time to time, because startup campaigns have been there throughout the entire timing, but it varies. So it can be for a particular period of time, it would be something, and then after that, it would change, right? For example, in a particular state I talked about, there was a 10-year holiday. In terms of first 5 years, no, no taxation. When after 5 years, they said that nay, after 5 years, it would be 50% of your profit would be taxable. So that's something which the organizations choose, right? So in this case, the answer would be private limited company and registered partnerships only. In this case, it's just these organizations which are talked about in terms of startup definition, and these which are considered as startups. Private limited companies, as well as if you start with a registered partnership. Registered means you're looking forward towards a proper registered one, means which has got a recognition in the eyes of the law. Chaliye. Now let's move on to the next question. How long can an entity remain eligible for recognition as a startup? under the expanded definition. First is initial definition and then is expanded one. So what I can do is in the upcoming class, I'll discuss all the definitions as well so that you can understand what's the difference between initial and the expanded definition. Under 3 years of incorporation, under 5, under 7 or under 10. What would be the answer in this case, everyone? I think today if in case it's possible, then I'll be discussing a few questions on the area of reasoning and assertion part as well. We expect that this time the examination is going to be using all the formats there of MCQs. So every day I'll try to bring at least 1 to 2 questions on reasoning and assertion based so that if you are new to this area, you won't really feel left out in terms of your practice. Right? Under the expanded definition, it went up to 10 years. That's why they introduced like first no tax holiday. That is first is no tax and then we have the area of after no tax it was 50% of profits. Okay, here comes a question on assertion as well as reasoning. When we talk about reasoning and assertion kind of questions, these are basically all created from the Macmillan book itself. You take a particular statement out there and those kind of statements have been asked in the examination. So it is really important that you in your examination, you really understand the within the lines of the book. Not something you are just noting it down from the general point of view, but you need to know the details of it as well because for these kind of examinations now they are raising their bar, so what they are doing is they are putting the points from within the lines, so we should be prepared to understand the concept to that extent. Chale. Now, assertion says that an entity formed by splitting up or reconstructing an existing eligible business is eligible to be recognized as startup. The initial definition of startup explicitly includes such entities. Both the assertion and reasoning are true, and the reasoning is correct explanation of the assertion. When you talk about splitting up a particular organization and reconstructing it, changing it altogether, when you talk about startups now, it is considered as a startup. Okay, when you're changing your business, you're trying to grow it further, it would be considered here. Okay, then comes the next point. To be considered as a startup under the expanded definition, an entity must be registered as a private limited company, a partnership, or a limited liability partnership in India. Because the type of legal registration is a key criterion for expanded definition. The point is, such everyone, how would the government come to know that you exist? They cannot come to know till the time you don't really provide them a proper information that you exist. What are you as a person? Then till that particular period of time, it's just not possible, isn't it? So I would say when it comes to these kind of organizations, one is assertion and one is reasoning. Assertion part says where what is the statement that's specific. In terms of an organization, if that organization does not exist in the eyes of law, how will they consider it as a startup and will provide any kind of benefits to them? To provide benefits, it is essential on the part of that organization that it exists in the law, right? They should have a PAN number on the basis of which their existence can be proved. So in this case, first point is definitely correct. And second is the type of legal representation is basically a criterion of expanded definition. It was not specified in the initial one. So in the expanded one, they did. So in this case, I can say the answer is both. The assertion and the reasoning are true, and the reasoning is an explanation. The assertion. So that's it for the day, everyone. I hope this particular session was helpful for you. And if you're looking forward towards our classes now, I hope you know we are coming up with our CAIIB Power Pack batch. Don't forget to join the Power Pack batch. It would be starting from 1st of November. At the same time, when we talk about the current courses, everybody, if you are taking your time in terms of your preparation and you want to make sure that you prepare well. So what you can do is you can take up our courses. Our full-fledged CIB courses are also available. Where you what you can do is you can go on to our website, go and understand what are we providing in terms of this examination. So first of all, go on to the area of www.adda247.com. Go on to the area of JIB and CIB. Then go on to the area of CIB November 2023. Here you will find all the Power Pack batches are there, and even the Sankalp batch is also available. So why don't you take up the Sankalp batch altogether under this particular Sankalp batch, or rather, if I talk about Sankalp batch, it's way better that you look forward towards CIB Mahapack. Those are basically Sankalp batch would include the four subjects as well as the basics of the particular subjects, ebooks, test series. When we talk about Mahapack, Mahapack includes English medium as well as bilingual. All the previous batches I would have done it till now would be available to you. For any other teacher, whatever they have taught in particular, previous classes plus current, everything would be available. Then the next point is ebooks are available. Next point is test series is available, and over 970 videos are available. You don't have to pay separately for the revision videos. That means for the Power Pack batch, you will be able to join. All the five electives are covered here. So Mahapack is something which is endless. Along with this, we are also providing 5 hours of 5 plus hours of main marathon, then 10 plus hours of mini marathon, practice papers, and even doubt classes. So what not is covered in the area of CIB? Every single thing that can come in the examination is covered in these classes. And even in the testing area, we have introduced unit testing as well. So we are getting into the minutest areas so that you can clear the examination with flying colors. So if you're looking forward to it, so what you can do for it is you can use the code RAM80 and you can buy it. If you're buying it for 6 months, you will be getting a particular validity for 12 months, and that would be for 7367.40 rupees. Right? So this is the price for our 1 year validity. And if you're looking forward towards a 2 year validity, just by paying for only 1 year, then it would be for 10,314.40. If you look at the annual point of view, it's not even 1,000 rupees per month. You know, so basically in this case, every single thing that you might be paying off towards your studies and career advancement opportunities, it will really help you and it will come back to you in one or the other form. So why don't you take it up as early as possible, right? So that's it for the day, everyone. Happy Dashera again, and if you're looking forward to it, double validity is only for a limited period. So hurry up and check it out. Pick up the courses as early as possible because the time is running away. All you need to do is go into the area of buy now. RAM 80 is already applied and you can buy it for 10,314.40. Because, acha everyone, if you go through the app now, another 1% will also be available. So you can buy it for 81%, say, right? 81% discount and double validity. So you have a win-win situation. So kindly go ahead and check it out on our website and our app for further details. Thank you.